Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has held separate private meeting with Governor of Bauchi State, Muhammadu Abubakar, and his Adamawa State counterpart, Jubrila Bindo. The Independent National Electoral Commission had declared 9 March governorship election in both states inconclusive. Both governors declined to speak with the State House correspondent after the meeting. INEC has fixed March 23rd for the supplementary election in Adamawa, Bauchi, Benue, Kano, Plateau, and Sokoto State, where governorship elections were declared inconclusive. Apart from Plateau, People Democratic Party (PDP) was leading in the result of the election so far declared by INEC in those states. The Lagos State government has shut down 45 unapproved schools on Lagos Island following collapse of 3-story building at Itafaji, which killed several pupils. Lagos State government, through the Lagos State Building Control Agency, deployed officials across the nooks and crannies of the state to enforce the sealing up and remove all illegal and distressed structure and unapproved schools. General Manager of the Lagos State Building Control Agencies, Lekan Shodende, said the ceiling and the stress structure came up as a follow-up to the building collapse which occurred in the early hours of Wednesday at Itafaji, Lagos Island, where pupils were part of the occupant and affected victims. Children, they stressed that the sealing up of the illegal building within the metropolis became necessary to prevent further occurrence of calamity of such magnitude. He said the agency will work with the Office of the Education Quality Assurance under the Lagos State Ministry of Education and other relevant agencies of government to achieve the desired result of conducive, safe, and secure environment for learning for the teeming population of the students in the state. The federal government has inaugurated an interministerial presidential inauguration committee for the swearing-in of President Muhammadu Buhari as he begins his second term on May 29, 2019. The secretary to the government of the federation, Boss Mustapha, who is the chairman of the committee, performed the inauguration in his office, Abuja. Addressing member, Mustapha stressed the need for the committee to ensure strong collaboration with other subcommittees. He explained that the subcommittees will emerge from All Progressive Congress and its support group with a view of guaranteeing the success of the presidential swearing ceremony. The inauguration took place 2 days after President Muhammadu Buhari approved the constitution of the committee with the mandate to plan, organize, and execute all approved activities of the 2019 presidential inauguration.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has presented certificates of return to the newly elected members of the National Assembly. The event, which took place at the International Conference Center in Abuja, had all the winners of the election gathered to receive their certificates from the Electoral Management Board. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu, before the presentation, appealed to the members of the 9th Assembly to quickly start work on the Electoral Reform Act, which, according to him, will help the Commission to prepare ahead of 2023 election.
As a matter of urgency, the Commission will begin work on post-2019 election review and roadmap for 2023. There is a lot of work ahead, but very little time available. As a process governed by law, the success of elections in Nigeria depends to a large extent on the electoral legal framework, and most importantly, in ensuring adherence to the law. I want to assure you that we will continue to work with the incoming National Assembly to review and strengthen our electoral laws. But I want to appeal to the senators-elect to please start work early and conclude work on the electoral legal framework in good time, well ahead of the 2023 general elections.
During the first section, a total of 102 senators received their certificate of return as against 109 senators. INEC had said it will not issue certificate of return to elected public officers in areas where declarations were made under duress. Some senators-elect, after collecting their certificates, spoke on their agenda at the 9th Assembly.
Well, I thank God. God has been gracious, and I'm elected, and I thank the good people of Benue Northeast for electing me to come here and represent them.
I come to the Senate not just to warm the seat. I came there because I feel there are certain things that are wrong. As an outsider looking inside over the years, I decided to come in there to lend my voice, and join forces with people who say things right, so that we start getting things right here instead of complaining. Take our role in Nigeria, in the world, because the world is expecting so much from Nigeria, and yet getting too little. So I come here as a voice, that want to make a change for the sake of making change, not for anybody, for anything, looking for reward, but doing it because this is our country. And if we don't do it, nobody will do it for us.
But I think you should know that to represent my country as a senator and my people from the Benue South Senatorial District certainly is something that I should be excited about. And I feel challenged that out of the numerous persons there that are equally qualified as me, have been picked as a senator to represent them. And so I expect to do my very best to meet the aspirations and the expectations of my people.
Our mission is to serve the people. And like we said, there are issues that are of great importance to us, that are dear to our heart, especially those of us from the Niger Delta. We are almost trying to miss the opportunity, but we still believe that the opportunity is still within our grasp to look at the issues of restructuring, which is a major issue for us in Bayelsa State and most of the Niger Delta states. And then again, we also have to look at the issues of federal character, because for those of us who are in Bayelsa State, we feel very neglected and cheated as far as the federal configuration currently is concerned. Because if you look at the permanent secretaries, Bayelsa has a list number, federal appointment, Bayelsa has a list number. So those are issues we want to look at. They're also looking at the issues of cooperative to ensure that our people are empowered, because there's a lot of oil coming from our place, but our people are the most impoverished people. So those are the issues we want to look at in this assembly. And so
members of House of Representatives by the later hour also received their certificates. In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has issued certificate of return to senators-elect in Abuja. At a ceremony in Abuja, the senator-elect are being called state by state to collect their certificate from the official of the electoral body. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said the late conclusion of the review of the electoral law will affect the commission implementation of the framework. He said there's a lot of work but very little time available as the process governed by the law. The success of the election in Nigeria depends on a large extent on the electoral legal framework and most importantly in ensuring adherence to the law. Meanwhile, cross-section of the new lawmaker have continued to bear their mind on the expectation of the 9th Senate. Senator-elect from Ekiti Central, Okoyemi Bamidele, said for the 9th Senate to stand on a strong footing, the issue of the leadership should be well managed.
Today is a day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. I'm extremely happy that I'm alive. It will be a function of two things. the members being able to elect people that they feel can effectively lead them, and the party, the leadership of the party also playing an effective role in trying to ensure, that as much as possible, it is a well-managed process. As long as we have a well-managed process, I believe a credible leadership will be able to emerge that will enhance our work and participation.
Prince Dayo Adeyeye from Ekiti South said the ninth Senate looked very rich with the people of high status.
The beginning of this democratic dispensation, you can see that people that I will comment on timber and caliber are actually coming to the Senate, very capable and very able Nigerians. And I'm happy to be part of this team. I believe this team will carry out a legislative agenda that would certainly move Nigeria forward. In all areas, an agenda that will improve the economy, an agenda that will carry out important constitutional reforms, an agenda that will set the stage for major political progress in Nigeria. So I'm happy to be part of that team.
Senator Sabi Abdullahi from Niger North, who is returning to the Senate following his re-election, said the ninth Senate will build on the progress made by the current Senate.
The very progressive-minded people of Niger North Senatorial District who found me worthy of giving me a second mandate, and a second mandate that I believe is to consolidate the good work I've done in the first time. As for the ninth Senate, I take solace in God Almighty that whatever mistake the 8th Senate must have made will be a key learning point for the 9th Senate. And as one of the active participants of the 8th Senate, I'm convinced beyond reasonable doubt that given the character of people who are going to make up the 9th Senate, I think we'll definitely take that lesson very much into contention in whatever we do.
Senator Kabiru Gaya from Kano State, in a chat with the journalists, said he's under pressure to take a shot at the office of the Deputy Senate President.
Well, I'm waiting for the leadership of the national of the party and also the presidency. But people are calling that I should run for the Deputy Senate President. And by God's grace, with the permission of the leadership and the presidency, I will run for Deputy Senate President.
Meanwhile, the name of the Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, is missing from the list of the senator-elect who received their certificate of return. Okorocha had won one of the senatorial seats in Imo West. Despite declaring Okorocha the winner, the electoral umpire said it will not issue certificate of return to Okorocha of All Progressive Congress APC, as its declaration was done under duress. From the International Conference Center, Abuja, Muyiwa Bamdele reporting. A coalition has raised alarm over an alleged plot by Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, to overthrow the government of President Muhammadu Buhari. The coalition said Wike failed attempt to compromise the military. It resorted to arming thugs, even bribing some foreign observers to propagate propaganda and fake news about the general election and Nigerian army. According to the group, the latest plot by the embattled governor appeared to be running short of steam and was again uncovered by the Coalition for the Good Governance and Change Initiative at a press conference in Abuja. According to the national coordinator of the coalition, Comrade Opoku Ojenyi, said Wike has strategized with foreign trained mercenaries to shut down Abuja, stretching to other parts of Nigeria. The group, however, advised the Rivers State governor to be brave and accept rejection by his own people rather than to embark on a self-destructive mission.
But he went to the dangerous extent of putting weapons into the hands of the same militants. The resort to arming and sewing military uniform for hoodlums was after he failed to bribe military officers to disobey lawful orders. The information we have is that Wike would have paid in foreign currencies any military officer that proves unprofessional for the purpose of overthrowing the federal government. His inability to bribe soldiers to manipulate the elections for him, failure to rig the same election with fake military, and the refusal of contentious officers to overthrow the government for him has now made him to consider using a rabble of protesters to achieve the same purpose. Apparently, because of the indifference with which his act of treason have been treated, Wike has now taken his attack on the Nigerian state further by trying to overthrow a legitimately elected government using the so-called Venezuela option by flooding the street with violent protests. The objective of mobilizing people into the street in this instance is not to express grievances, but to shut the country down, induce security and military personnel to join their rebellion and get endorsement from greedy foreign countries.
Hospitality business in Nigeria has grown in leaps and bounds, even upholding international standards and best practices. One of such luxury brands in hospitality business in Nigeria is the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Apartment, who has become a force to reckon with. The hotel was established by billionaire businessman Captain Dr. Idahosa Okunbo, whose business trajectory has traversed the air, the sea, and the land. Captain Osa, as he is popularly known, has a Midas touch so that everything he touches turns to gold. No wonder the Ritz-Carlton Hotel has been adjudged as the best hotel in Nigeria for 2019 at the just concluded Jumia Travel Awards in Lagos. The managing director of Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Apartment Abuja, Georgine Odenwald, has said the inauguration of the hotel in Nigeria has brought global competitiveness to hospitality business in the country. He stated this at the annual Jumia Travel Award in Lagos, where the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Apartment emerged the best hotel in Nigeria for 2019. Odenwald said the new dimension which the hotel has brought to Nigeria's hospitality industry has seen it compare with best hotels in Dubai, New York, and United Kingdom. While noting that the inauguration of the Abuja branch in December 2018 was the first of the series in the country, he said Nigerians should be prepared for a new dimension in hospitality management. Lagos State Commissioner for Tourism, Art and Culture, Steve Ayorinde, represented by the Director of Lagos Council of Art and Culture, Mrs. Saidat Otulano, lauded the effort of Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode in developing and changing the face of tourism in the state. She said in the last 3.5 years, the Lagos State government has continued to invest in the development of tourism, sport, and location in the state. The managing director, Jumia Travel, Omolara Adagundo, said the idea behind the award is to create and encourage standard in the country and influence changes. It will be recalled that the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and Luxury Apartment was opened on the 15th December 2018 in Abuja by the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. Adeni Ifetayo reporting for Ben Television.